Hello everybody, it's Rachel at From Moments to Milestones, and I'm here today to put together our most recent project kit. This is a 5 ways to gift a gift card. So all these projects include some way to include a gift card. So there's some kind of pocket or like a pillow box, we'll hold it inside. The only one that does not would be this little coffee cup holder that we're gonna make, but inside you could always stash some cash in there or candy, whatever fun little treat you want to put in there. So we'll go ahead and get started. There's 5 projects today. If you purchase the kit, you'll get the instructions, which have pictures and directions, and at the end a listing of the items I used to create the kit. So this kit is featuring papers from Photoplay, their Christmas Cheer 6x6 pad. Okay, our first project will be From the North Pole with Love. So there's a belly band, we have an envelope, and you'll pull out this accordion fold, and there's a place for a gift card inside. So, actually I'll just leave this open so we can look while we create. This over here to the side. Get out our kit. Alright, so the first thing we can do is you'll have this accordion fold piece, and you should have 2 reindeer rectangles and then the white. Now if you're not a fan of the sentiment, or you want to be able to write your own thing in there, you could always flip it over and just put down the white side. So that's an option. All right, once we have that done, now we're going to create this pocket here. So you have this piece, and there are the tiniest tabs created by a score line. So you're going to fold those back, and you can always use a bone folder or tab, whatever you have, to reinforce those if you want. So I'm going to do that. And then what we're going to do is place adhesive here and here, and then along the bottom, and that's going to create our pocket. So you can use score tape or wet glue. Just be mindful of the wet glue. This is a very thin strip, and you don't want to seal your pocket shut. So I'm going to put a little glue there, and then I'm going to put the pocket on. So we'll just line it up with that reindeer paper. I'm putting it on upside down. Do as I say, not as I do. I'm not sure why I did that, but the glue needs to be at the bottom, or your pocket's not going to work. All right, so make sure that's adhered, and now you should have a pocket. But let's let it dry first. All right, so now you should have a pocket there for your gift card to slide in. All right, so we can set that off to the side. And now we're going to focus on the envelope. So this was created using the We Are Memory Keepers punch board. And I started with a 6x6 piece of paper, and we got this. So what we need to do is create our envelope. So we're going to put some adhesive here and here and fold the flap over. All right, so I'm going to put glue here and here. And we're just going to close that. You do have to be careful with the wet glue that we are not using too much, or you're going to seal your envelope shut, but I think we'll be good here. So now we need to put on our belly band. So you should have this black glitter strip here that has 1 piece folded. We're going to wrap that around, but before we do that, I would suggest we place this in our envelope so that we know the proper thickness before we start folding it. So we're gonna, you have a fold there, you're gonna do this, And then you're gonna pull it over, not too tight if you want to be able to slide it off and on. Okay, and then it's up to you. You noticed on mine, it just kind of opened right up. I just used some, like a tape runner, and because of the glitter, it doesn't stick that well. So if you want somebody to be able to do that, I would suggest tape runner. It's not going to stick that well. If you want something permanent, you could use liquid glue. I think a glue dot would be good here, or a foam square. So we need to secure that. But before I do that, if you'll notice on mine, this is an option. I cut banner ends. So I'm going to take this one that comes from the top and trim the banner end. So I'm just going to cut up the middle. All right, so that's ready. And I think today I'm going to try a glue dot. So let me grab one. And I'm just going to put it right there. Holding that closed, lining it up. Just fold it over, and we're good to go. And then we'll finish by placing our little scallop circle and the sentiment circle right over the top. So I did use foam on both of those, but that's totally a preference. I put one here, and I also put one here. I'll put this guy down first, and then from the North Pole with love, and that's finished. So now it'll slide off and on, and that glue dot I think will be a good option if you want to do that. That came off easy. So that project is finished. Our next project is our Jingle All the Way pillow box. This pillow box was also created using the We Are Memory Keepers pillow box board. And this also uses a 6x6 piece of paper. So a good way to use up your 6x6 pads. All right, so you'll have something that looks like this. And I don't know if you can see this or not. Let me grab maybe a pencil or something to show you. So there are score lines here, and this is what will create the pillow box. But on this folded tab here, we are going to cut off those little portions at the score line. One and two. That will just so they don't get in the way when we fold them over. Now, before we put it together, I would suggest kind of going around, because they're rounded. They're going to be a little bit more difficult. Maybe just going around and slightly get those fold marks going in the right direction. It'll be harder to do once it's all put together. All right, I kind of got those going. So now we're going to fold this tab in and place our glue. So score tape or wet glue, whatever you prefer. It's fine. All right, and then we're just going to close that onto itself. Give it a second to adhere. And we're good to go. So now you should be able to squeeze it open, and you have your little tube that will create the pillow box. But I'm noticing right now that this is not glued. Hold that shut. You do want to make sure that your end is really good and sealed, because that's going to open and close and open and close. Okay. So now we're good to go. And then really all you're going to do is hold it like that, pinch it, And then each end has one of these tabs with a notch cut out. You're going to want to fold that one in first, okay? That way if you want to open it, you can reach your finger in there and open it. Without that notch, it's nearly impossible. Okay, fold one end. And then, like I said, a gift card will slide right in there. I have a, what's the size of a gift card? And that will go right in there and close. Push it in. Sometimes it can be temperamental. You just gotta fidget with it a little bit. And there's your pillow box. So we're gonna finish it off with our tag. But first, the tag has a stamped holly and berries, but we're gonna kind of cover that up with something a little bit more fun. Glitter paper is always fun. So I'm gonna take this, and then you can shape it if you want. Just fold the leaves in half, give it a little bit of texture. And I'm just gonna put those down, being mindful of the hole there, because we're gonna need to be able to put our thread through there. And then I did pop up the berries, but I'm probably gonna have to cut one of these foam squares in half to get it to fit, because they're kind of small. Oh, I guess it's the same color on both sides. Okay. You know what? I don't think I covered that up enough. There we go. That looks better. All right. So now you have that. And then this is how I put my tag on. And you can just wrap it around and tie a bow and stick that on. I'm going to show you what I did. So I folded the cord, it's like a wax cord, in half and stuck the folded end through the front of the tag. And now I'm going to pull a little bit till I have enough room to get my pillow box through there. And now I'm going to kind of like get it where I want it, up here towards the top, and pull tight. Not too tight, don't want to rip it, but tight enough. And then I did secure this with a foam square. So once I get that nice and tight the way I want it, I'm going to stick that on there. Now it's going to stay in place while I tie a bow. And just fidget with it and get it the way you want it. One thing that's kind of cool about this wax cord is you can kind of manipulate it. It's almost like it's got wire in there, and get it to do what you want. All right, so there is your pillow box. Our next project is this adorable little snowman card that he's going to open like this, and inside you can place a gift card. Now the original design for this card was kind of to fold this way, but I just had to use that snowman, so we just kind of adapted it this way. Now when we did class, I think there was some people perhaps worried that this was going to fall out. It's a pretty tight fit in there, and this is just a piece of paper. It has never fallen out, so a gift card would be more substantial. You could always stick a glue dot on the back to hold it in there, or what we had them do is they built their card like this. They flipped the snowman and then it opened this way. So that would be an option for you if you wanted to, but I think you'll be okay with this design. So let's go ahead and get started with that. All right, so the first thing we can do here is your card base is already scored and folded for you. So what we need to do is create that pocket, and we're simply going to put some adhesive here and here and fold it down, and then we'll have our pocket. So I'm just going to use a line of wet glue just on the side, so you don't want to close your pocket, and hold that down for a minute. All right, so that part's done. And now we're gonna put our sentiment. And again, if you're not a fan of that, you could always flip it over and have white and put your own sentiment inside. At this point, if you wanted your card to open this way, you would need to flip that sentiment or just put down the white, and then you don't have to worry about that. I'm going to put that down. So that's gonna go like that. And then you have these 3 pieces of black and white paper. You kind of have a small, medium, and large. So the strip is going to go at the bottom. Go ahead and put that down. Okay, and then the medium one's going to go on the inside. And this one is going to go on the outside. And they'll have, these 2 will have a black border. All right, so that part's done. Got your pocket there. And now you have this sweet little snowman. And he is going to go onto the black rectangle. So he has an outline. And then he's going to go right here. So you're only going to put adhesive on about half of him, depending on how much you want to show. So put some lines here. Wet glue may also be a good choice here if it gets opened a lot. Now there's no sentiment on this particular card, so you could always add something later if you wanted, but he's just so sweet. This could be a Christmas card or a winter card. Either way, it really doesn't have to be Christmas. So then I'm going to add these snowflakes to the card, but you know what, before I do that, I don't know if you can tell, I added glitter like to the snowbank and a little bit onto the snowman. I also did glossy accents on his buttons just to jazz it up a little bit. So I have some glitter and my glue. I'll just do that real quick. Put the glitter on. All right, and then I'm gonna finish with these snowflakes. This one I put on foam. It's up to you if you wanna do that. It'll be fine just being stuck down. Put one there. One up here. And this one right there. All right, so that card is finished. Our next project is this Santa is Coming to Town. And this is a fun little sliding card. So I just have that stuck with a glue dot in there. It kind of opens to reveal that. So let's get started with that one. All right, so let's grab our card base, this black and white pattern paper, and we'll start here. So we'll put down, make sure your card's opening the right way. Put down the collage paper. Make sure it's right side up. There is a right side and a wrong side. All right, and then a candy cane stripe paper. Line that up here. All right, then you should have a red strip, which I believe got cut wrong. So you can either have it extend, which is fine, or just give it a little trim, which is what I'm going to do. I'm just gonna put it there, mark it, and trim it. All right, and then I'm gonna put a line of glue, and that's just gonna butt right up next to that candy cane paper. Okay, and then you have the thinnest, smallest strip of gray glitter paper. And so I'm gonna do the same thing, just put a light strip of glue and stick that on there. It will butt right up to the red, just like that. All right, now we have our little Santa scene and a black. That's gonna go right on top of that. Okay, and that's gonna go there. And then you should also have a Santa Claus is coming to town banner. And I'm gonna put both of those up on foam. All right, I'm gonna put my Santa on. He's up on foam, and my sentiment below. All right, and then again, I added glitter to the front, so you can do that now. I'm gonna get out my glitter again, and I just kind of followed some of the lines in his beard. Okay. And then we also have these three little snowflakes, so I'm gonna go ahead and add those. I'll put a dot here, here, and there. All right. And then you should have two little rhinestones in your kit, and those are gonna go right over the buttons on Santa. And one there. All right, so the outside of the card is done. Now we're gonna work on the inside. I'm just gonna set that up aside to dry here for a second. You should have this piece of paper, black cardstock with the sentiment embossed, and there's score lines on each side. So what you need to do is fold those away from the sentiment. We're gonna create a pocket again on the inside of our card. So I'm gonna put some glue, open my card. I'm gonna put glue here and here. And you know what I forgot to do and tell you to do is you can go ahead and cut little triangles off so those don't stick out when you make your pocket. Okay, so I cut there and there. All right, and then I'm gonna put a strip of glue at the bottom, fold those back, and I'm gonna put it on the inside bottom panel of my card. And we're gonna create a pocket. Okay, just like that. All right, so now we have a pocket there. And now you have this white, plain white piece, and it has a score mark at the top. So you're gonna go ahead and fold that. And then you're gonna open it back up. So you're looking at it like this, okay? We are going to tuck that into the pocket we just made. Line it up so it's even on both sides. And the top of the white piece should line up with the fold of your card, okay? So get it where you want it. try to scoot it over a little bit. Okay, lined up with the fold of the card. And then we're gonna put adhesive just on above that score line. So just on that tab. And then you're gonna close your card. Okay. And now when you open it, it's gonna catch that adhesive. And now you have that nice little sliding mechanism. We're gonna go ahead and decorate the inside of the card and finish it off. So we have this strip of candy cane paper, the thickest strip, and that is going to go the top of your pocket. There will be a black border, all right? And then I put this piece, the naughty nice, maybe you could check it if you wanted to. I'm gonna put that up at the top, centered. Okay, and then these two strips will go on either side. So one there and one there. All right, and your card is finished. Okay, our last project is this. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year coffee cup wrap. So put that over here and we will get started on that. In your kit, you are going to have a larger piece of paper that this gray gingham, and it should have the outline of this coffee cup template, this wrap, and you'll need to fussy cut that out, so you'll end up with this piece. We use the snowflake side, but you're welcome to use whatever side you want. I'm going to go ahead. You should also have your coffee cup. There's a line on the coffee cup where they put it together. That is what I use as a guide to start wrapping my cup. So I believe that score tape is really the easiest thing to use to put this on, but I don't have any up here at the moment. So I'm going to use wet glue, but this stuff dries fast. So I'm just going to put some like this, and using that line, just hold it on there and get it started. And then, I mean, you can glue all the way around if you want to. I don't find it to be necessary. I just glue the two ends. So I'm gonna put some more here and a line where, because it kind of overlaps a little bit. Line it up and hold it. So that part is easy. All right, so our cup is wrapped, and I'm gonna decorate the lid. So you should have, I know you got lots of little bits and pieces here, but we want the black scallop and the snowflake circle, and that's gonna go right on top. Now this lid has like a recessed area, and so using foam brings it up to the perfect height. So I put a couple foam squares in there, and that will hold that piece on. So we'll put that down. Okay, and then a little glue on that. And that goes right in the center. And your cup is done. We'll set that off to the side, and we're gonna build our wrap. So you should have these two long black strips of paper with a tag on one end, and then you have these score lines. So we need to reinforce the score lines. I'm gonna do that. Okay. And now you have these two squares at the end. We're gonna glue those together like that. So Glue on there. Stick that one on top of that one. All right, so you have that wrap made, and we're gonna flip it over, and we're gonna put these music note papers on them. So we have two larger music note papers, and then you have two more strips that will go here and here, and then you should have two that have rounded edges, and those are for the top tag portion. All right, so the only thing you need to keep in mind is this piece that has the words written on it. You need the words to be, the top of the words to be close to the tag. You don't want to have it look like this, or your words are going to be upside down. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put all of those on. Okay, all of my music note papers are attached. So now I'm going to flip it back over, and your cup is going to go in that center square, and your wrap is going to wrap around it like so. Okay, so that ribbon will go through there to hold it shut. But before we do that, because this cup is wider on top than it is on the bottom, if you only tie it shut, there's a good chance it could fall out. Now it's staying in there pretty good, but if you really want to ensure that it's not going to go anywhere and it would be nice and tight like this, I put a glue dot on the inside of the tag. I put two actually. So I put one down here and one right there. Actually, I didn't get those down as far as I wanted, but that's okay. And that way, when I do this, now it's going to be secure and hold my cup in there. Okay? So there's that. And now I'm going to put my ribbon through there, and I'm going to tie a bow. I have my bow all done, and I'm going to trim the edges just to clean up my ribbon a little bit. All right. And now we're going to finish it off by adding the poinsettia. So this is the Lawn Fawn poinsettia die. You have two leaves, the centers, and the poinsettias. So what I'm going to do on mine is pinch them like this. You could go the other way. They have that score mark in the middle. I'm just going to do that on all of them just to give them a little shape. You could ink the edges. A lot you could do. But this is quick and easy. You could also use a shaping tool with it, a stylus and a soft mat. All right, and now we're going to kind of stagger the petals. Put the smaller one on top, and then the other one on top like that. Oops. Beautiful poinsettia. I'm gonna trim that up a little bit more because it's not the same size. There we go. All right, and so then you have these, the centers. So you can fold those up if you want. And then I'm gonna just put a dot of glue there. And stick that on. And then the smaller one goes on top of that. And that one's staggered as well. And then you have the leaves. You can do the same thing with those. I'm going to fold them and give them a little bit of shape. All right, and I'm we're gonna have one come out here, so I'm gonna go ahead and put some. I actually have it on this panel right here. It's kind of close to the top, but so I'm gonna put one of the leaves there and the other one there. Okay, and then you could use foam, you could use a glue dot here, whatever you want to do. I'm just gonna kind of load it up with glue on the back and stick it on there. Now it may be easier to do this. Flatten it out and stick it on, and then once it's dry you could fold it back open. Wet glue is good because you have wiggle room. You can get it just the way you want it. I'm just gonna hold that for a minute while it dries. Well, that will complete this little project in the class. We've got all 5 projects done. Thanks for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed this card kit. These are the projects we made. If you have any questions, let us know. Talk to you soon.